The Reds are sending scouts to watch Florentino Luis. According to Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool sent scouts to watch Benfica player Florentino Luis multiple times last season. According to reports, Italian team Milan are interested in bringing the Portuguese midfielder to San Siro. Reports claim that the Milan side are already in contact with the midfielder's representatives and that an agreement can be reached with the Portuguese club for around €30 million. But another report states that although Milan are interested in the player, Arsenal and Napoli join them. The report also stated that Benfica will only sell players if the €120 million release clause is met, and Enzo Fernandez has been given a benchmark to go to the club as he was sold to Chelsea just 6 months ago. Meanwhile, Liverpool sent scouts to watch both Luis and teammate Antonio Silva in March. Recent reports have reported that both the Reds and Tottenham Hotspur joined the scouts for the Portuguese side's 2-0 win against Famalicão. Romano confirmed that the club is interested in the midfielder, but no official talks have taken place. I think this is one of the players Liverpool watch in terms of scouting because it has been said many times that Liverpool scouts are around to follow Florentino Luis. I'm not aware of any direct contact with Benfica at the moment, so let's see, but Benfica has this kind of thing for substance. I'm not sure he's open to negotiation. I think they really want big money, he said. Luis was one of the most impressive defensive midfielders in Europe last season. The midfielder shone when it came to the defensive side of the game and smashed the game in midfield. He averaged an incredible 3.5 tackles per 90 minutes and 2.7 tackles per 90 minutes. These numbers place him in the top 3% of all midfielders in Europe's next 8 leagues, demonstrating that he is the perfect destroyer for any midfielder. His former coaches talked a lot about him. João Trulhão said, "Technically speaking, it's not easy to find a midfielder with the defensive qualities he has. I would joke with him and say he saw the game 2 seconds before anyone else. The amount of interceptions he makes is astonishing, that he can always be in the right position. He has the talent and quality to play in elite teams. Do you remember when Real Madrid had Galacticos? They needed someone to balance the team and Markaliel was very important. Everywhere, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, everywhere. He'd have no trouble adapting," he said. Liverpool are reportedly hoping to bring in another midfielder this summer after announcing the signings of midfield duo Alexis Mac Allister and Dominic Szoboszlai. Luis will have a very different profile by comparison and will most likely fight Fabinho and Stefan Bajcetic for the position at the bottom of midfield alongside Trent Alexander-Arnold. If the 23-year-old joins the Reds, he could be key to unlocking the quality of the Scouser, as Luis will provide all the protection the midfield needs, giving him more freedom to focus on offense and creativity. It looks like a tough deal to complete for the Reds due to Benfica's reluctance to negotiate a fee. But if they succeed, they may have the final piece of their midfield puzzle. In addition, due to the negotiations with Nunez, it can play an auxiliary role in this transfer in its close relations with Benfica. Alexander-Arnold prepares for contract negotiations. According to Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool are preparing to start contract negotiations with Trent Alexander-Arnold after finishing their transfer business. The England national team star's contract runs until the summer of 2025, the same summer that Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Jordan Henderson and Kostas Tsimikas saw their contracts expire. This means that Liverpool has a lot of new deals to decide soon. In the 24-year-old's case, the club is making an effort to keep him at the club for the foreseeable future, especially after seeing his performances in the opposite role he found himself on the run last season. Alexander-Arnold has been one of the most integral parts of Liverpool's recent successes. He appeared in 273 games for the club and won nearly every trophy while recording 16 goals and 72 assists. Liverpool's number 66 is currently making £180,000 a week after signing a 4-year deal in the summer of 2021. If the club and player agree on a new deal, it is assumed that they will receive a weekly wage similar to what Van Dijk and Thiago Alcantara receive at around £210,000 a week. According to Romano, any discussion between the club and the player about the new deal may have to wait until the Reds have completed all their business in the market. I'm sure Liverpool will talk to him. It's something they've already discussed internally, but now they are busy in the market. But it's definitely one of the things Liverpool want to do. They will talk about it. Also, the player is doing his best for the future of Liverpool, he said. Jürgen Klopp has an interesting dilemma regarding the position the 24-year-old will play next season. Liverpool finished the season in good form, with 7 wins and 3 draws in their last 10 games. The real star of the show was Alexander-Arnold, who contributed 8 goals in the final 10 games of the season in his newly inverted role. His continued form for England continued with a goal, an assist and a Man of the Match awards in the team's last 2 eliminations. His performance led Dean Saunders to declare the Liverpool player the best English midfielder in England at the moment. "I think Trent is the best English midfielder in England. I think he's better than any of them. If you play him in midfield, he can do everything Declan Rice does, but he can also hit the passes Thiago hits and sees." Liverpool have signed 2 in this window, and the profiles of both Alexis Mac Allister and Dominic Szoboszlai show that Klopp is moving towards making the transition to the 3-2-2-3 system more permanent. This will certainly be good news for Alexander-Arnold. After their last performance, Arnold hopes to showcase his skill set in a more advanced role next season. One thing is for sure, Liverpool want to tie their self-bred star to a new deal. Thus, the new-looking midfielder will be able to develop himself in different positions in the coming years. Liverpool cooled their interest in 22-year-old Mickey van der Ven. According to the latest information, Liverpool no longer follows Mickey van der Ven, despite showing great interest in the Dutchman. With the Merseysiders cooling off interest, Tottenham's chances of hitting the mark increased. For weeks, several media outlets, including Fabrizio Romano, had suggested how close Tottenham had come to Mickey van der Ven. Still, there were intriguing rumours from rivals, particularly Liverpool. Jürgen Klopp will be in the market for a left-footed centre-back, but so far he hasn't been nailed to a specific goal. Already considered a similar player to Virgil van Dijk, Mickey van der Ven seemed like a viable target at one stage, but that is no longer the case. Despite reports that Liverpool are rivals Tottenham for the Dutch player, they have now cooled their interest. The reasons behind stopping the tracking of the 22-year-old player remain unclear. This may be due to budgeting and their inability to move existing advocates. The fact that Liverpool's defenders are right-footed makes the need for a left-footed star important. However, they cooled their interest with the Mickey van der Ven option available on the market. Meanwhile, the news will likely cheer Tottenham fans, who may have concerns following Liverpool's interest in the 22-year-old. Now, the Spurs are close to finalising the deal and things are moving in the right direction after reports claiming they have made a verbal offer to Wolfsburg. The report claims that £30 million should have been enough to sign Mickey van der Ven from Wolfsburg.